How you doing, guys? This is Nick from TruthBlitz, and I got a special treat for you tonight. It's Omar Bahm from Crypt0s News. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me, Nick.
Oh, thank you for doing this. It's a real treat. I've been following your show for a while, and honestly, that's the best place I know if somebody wants to keep up on what's going on in the crypto space. And you're
so
really
much.
kind of on top of everything, so I really like that. It really helps out people who are new. You know, in the grand scheme of things, I'm still kind of new to cryptos. You know, I've only been in the space for maybe 8 months, and
That's a long time. This time, time seems to stretch out longer when you're in this space. Like you said, there's so much happening almost every day. I mean, we were speaking earlier on, and there were a bunch of things I missed just today. I'm trying to catch up on this evening to share with people. It's a lot.
Yeah, there is, man. There's a lot to know, and it's kind of scary to people who, people who don't know about this and who want to get into the crypto space and, maybe heard the word Bitcoin and they know that Bitcoin is doing really well. And then you kind of start digging in to try to figure out, oh, maybe how do I get some? And then you just get overwhelmed with all this, there's so much, and it kind of scares people off if you're not tech savvy.
It's true. You're absolutely right. I mean, I had my cousin text me right now. He's a firefighter in Miami. He was speaking with his firefighter buddies, and they were like, one of his buddies was like, I want to throw $100,000 at Bitcoin. I just heard it's gonna go to $50,000. Wall Street analyst said it, and my cousin's like, yo, like my friend's just trying to get into Bitcoin right now. Is that right? Is he on the right track right now? I'm like, dude, Andy, if you would have like kept the Bitcoin that I told you to get in 2015 and not sold it, right away and freaked out when it had a little bit dip, like you would have so much money right now. So yeah, I still think it's gonna be an awesome bet. Throw as much money as you can at it right now. But that's where I come from, It's still early.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. You never want to put more than you can afford to lose. And I'll tell you what, if somebody's got a weak stomach, this is not the market for them because it's so volatile. Everything's up and down. And, there's the skeptics who say, oh, Bitcoin can go back to zero like that. And, I don't foresee that happening. The Mike Adams of the world and the people like that who I think at this point they've been anti-Bitcoin for so long, saying it's in a bubble, since it was $20, and at this point so many of their subscribers and followers have missed the boat because they've been listening to them. And
yeah, it's true. It's so easy to follow the wrong crowd, man.
It is. And now it's like, what are you gonna say now? Hey, I was wrong. No, you're just gonna keep going, and it's in a bubble $20, it's in a bubble $1,000, it's in a bubble $3,400, and then $50,000 is going to be in a bubble. So it's hard for people to admit they're wrong, but I get that. But we're not anywhere near a bubble, man. In the grand scheme of things, when you see how many people, what the percentage of people is that own Bitcoin, go talk to 10 people, and guarantee you none of them are going to own Bitcoin. Maybe 2 might have heard of Bitcoin. And, until it gets to the point where, 3 out of 10 people own Bitcoin, we're nowhere near a bubble, in my opinion.
You're right. And you know what? The thing is, when we do have dips, people call it a correction, and it's kind of a crisis, especially if you haven't been around for a very long time. I've seen this happen multiple times. But what's interesting is that you could call that a bubble, but it's like a tiny bubble. You have huge bubbles. Like if we're going to talk about like the .com bubble, that was a massive bubble that involved everybody. Who didn't hear about the internet? Who didn't think that owning pets.com wasn't going to make you rich at some point? So you had these crazy valuations for some websites that ended up why don't we just use pets with a Z at the end.com instead of with an S? And so it caused a huge collapse and really a correction. But we're nowhere near that because, like you said, the average person does not know how Bitcoin even works. Even if, like you said, 2 people have heard of Bitcoin, maybe 0.001 of people have even understood what blockchain technology is. Even less than that is my assumption. So we're very far from it. If anything, we're probably around like 1992 of the internet. People were saying it's like 1994 before Netscape started really bringing the internet browser to everybody. I think I got my first computer in 1997, and it still felt like early days to me.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even close to that, dude. We're still years away. I think it's a very exciting time to get in by now, because every halvening for Bitcoin, it just causes people to begin to talk about it more, and to talk about supply and demand, and learn a little bit more about what the halvening might mean, and therefore learn about blockchain technology and talk about it with their friends. So I get really excited that we're already in 2017. We haven't really had a major correction or collapse yet. We've had a few dips along the way, but generally, I think we still have a long way to go before we have a correction. And now SegWit's locking in, or it's about to activate. I'm very excited for the future. Ethereum, talking about plasma right now. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking into it right now. Like I said, I was looking into it tonight, but Vitalik tweeted about this. Him and a Joseph Poon, I believe is his name. I have it here, plasma.pdf. Plasma is going to be scalable, autonomous smart contracts. So basically, you have this parent blockchain. It could be Ethereum, could be something else. And then you have a decentralized version of, imagine like a Lightning Network, very fast self-executing smart contracts that are paid by transaction fees that keep running and can have billions possibly of transactions per second. So I mean, imagine that actually taking off. I don't know. I think you froze a little bit there.
Oh,
but
yeah, I did.
Yeah. I guess you'll get it up in a second. I can still hear you. But yeah, they said here, proposed framework for incentivized and enforced execution of smart contracts, which is scalable to a significant amount of state updates per second, potentially billions, dude. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to talk about, like we were speaking about earlier, also centralized blockchains coming out. But if we get decentralized versions of these blockchains, like Ethereum, adding these scalable smart contracts, running decentralized applications developed globally before they can get stuff running, any of these private built organizations that are maybe nefarious or not for everybody sharing in that wealth, as much as several stakeholders and early investors, in a way that they can manipulate the prices for things and the amount of tokens created and destroyed at will. People are going to choose the freer option generally if they're educated. And I think it's important that you, myself, other YouTubers are helping to spread this kind of information, and that we have amazing developers that are focused on the decentralized economy, like Vitalik Buterin and Joseph Poon, who believe in what Satoshi said here. And it's still, like I said, a long time away, but this is flying fast. And the decentralized versions of things are flying even faster than the private ones. They're just trying to keep up.
Wow, man, that is awesome. Is this going to be this is going to be a whole nother blockchain in itself, a whole nother token, if you will?
It seems to me it's not a token. It seems to me to be almost like a protocol that you can use your blockchain with, that for example would be almost like state channels. So you could do a bunch of transactions happening somewhere else and only occasionally dip into whatever the main blockchain is, like Ethereum, for example.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. I have to look into it a little bit more, but the community, the Ethereum community right now is very excited because, I mean, it looks like it'll be first on Ethereum and probably licensed out elsewhere.
I wonder if this is in response to EOS.
Probably.
That's what it seems like it would be to me.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get into EOS a little bit. Do you want to take that screen down, the one of me, because I got another one running and they're not synced.
I'm sorry. Well,
the screen you have of me up in the corner, dude. I'm sorry. The video screen. Do you want to take it down?
Why?
Oh, I have another one down here. I got two of them actually of me on right now.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Hold on, one moment.
Sorry, guys. It was my fault. I had video difficulties, and Omar was trying to help me out. Awesome. Okay, yeah. So I got me down here in the corner. Sorry about that, man.
No, all good. Good, awesome.
Yeah. So EOS. You know, I know you were taking a non-biased standpoint on everything that was happening with EOS. You did a video where you talked about, you know, both points of view, because ever since we had that ever since that video came out, Ivan on Tech video, a lot of people are freaked out, and I hold some EOS, and you know, it's hard for some people to grasp because it's its own blockchain, it's its own thing, but right now you have a token that's on the Ethereum blockchain. So, you know, and they have to, you know, if you look at any the small print on any of these ICOs or any of these companies, they have to say things like this to cover their own rears. but basically it says that they don't have to give you anything more than they already did. And I was kind of looking into it a little bit more. And my buddy Sean did an interview the other day with one of the co-founders of Steemit, who is personal friends with Dan Larimer. And he put it a good way. He's already put out two working and very successful products already. And this is the one that he has wanted from the beginning. And from what he said, it said that there's no way that he's not going to do it. He's going to get this done. So watching that kind of put my mind at ease about EOS. And it's not like it's not going to make or break me. But like I said, I do hold some, and I want to see it successful. But the fact that that Ethereum is coming out with their sponsor, that's just how crazy the space is, man. Like, somebody comes out with one thing, and then another one's gonna come out to rival that, and it's just back and forth, and it's so cool to watch all these companies. It is like the internet 2.0. For people who missed the boat on the .com boom, man, this is the second chance right here, and I don't think we're gonna see anything else like this again, not in our lifetime anyway.
I think you're absolutely right, and you know what? It's true. I got the chance to hear Brock Pierce, the legendary Brock Pierce investor running Blockchain Capital. He had an ICO himself. He's funded with his companies some of the biggest companies out there, including Coinbase, Kraken. He's been involved with this space since Ethereum was 25 cents, recommending it at different conferences to people. He's a guy that when he talks, you listen. When he invests in something, you listen. He is involved. His company, Blockchain Capital, is like a hedge fund, for example, a digital hedge fund. You give them some money, and they invest in various projects, and they get those funds back to dividend in the form of dividends or raised token prices and assets for people holding the token, this BCAP token that you can pick up on several exchanges. So they actually invested in EOS, and the day that they invested in EOS, there wasn't much news about this out there. I'm not even sure if I mentioned it in my channel. I might have. But when Brock Pierce looks at something, like I said, you listen. And so he's involved with it. I got to hear him talk last Saturday. I did like a cryptocurrency 101 video, well, not video, like a slide presentation live in Beverly Hills out here. And actually, I'm going to get that up in my channel. So if you want to refer people up to my channel soon to check that out,
Definitely.
Interested in why cryptocurrency is amazing. I'm gonna probably record that after this. I'm gonna just do it again and try to make it clean for people. But Brock went on right after me, and Brock was speaking about. Somebody asked him, "Hey Brock, what are 3 projects that if you could invest in anything, you'd invest in?" And he said, "Well, I don't recommend that people invest in anything, but if I had to pick 3, I'd pick Bitcoin, I'd pick Ethereum, and I'd pick EOS." Now, side note, he says he hasn't sold any Bitcoin Cash. He doesn't know where things are going to head. He says, I don't know, so I just hold. But he does insist on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and EOS. So the way he framed it, it let no doubt in my mind remain that EOS would not give those tokens, because EOS created these tokens on the Ethereum blockchain, like you said. So if you invest in EOS right now, you're holding these ERC20 tokens, these Ethereum tokens that are EOS. Ultimately, when the EOS blockchain is finished, its own platform, they're going to freeze, from my understanding, the EOS tokens that exist on the Ethereum blockchains. So they'll be pretty much worthless. And people are concerned, saying, we're giving this money to the parent company of EOS, Block 1, and they might not release these tokens. They might not actually create this token. They're saying in the disclaimer, like you said, we're not liable to anything. You are basically donating to us. We have all the money that we need. We had $200 million before you even gave us another $200 million in the first few days. We don't need that money. But the fact is, you're right. They do have to put that stuff in fine print. And if you look at the way that they set up the entire ICO, you cannot invest as an American. You're gonna have to go out of your way. You're gonna have to set up a VPN. They have not made it simple. They have made it so that they're protected based on the current laws that exist in the United States from the SEC, for example, going after them here. So they're doing what they need to do. They need to write all that stuff. But for whatever reason, the SEC decides to make a new law, say that these tokens are illegal, and they really can't release that token. They don't want to be liable to that. They don't want you to sue them in various countries around the world. They have to do that. The lawyers say that. These people have done various projects. You have BitShares, which Dan Larimer created. You have Steemit. And again, like you said, it's amazing that these projects are springing up everywhere. You hear about EOS doing smart contracts that are easy to do and scalable in huge amounts, and suddenly Vitalik and his team, some of the brightest minds out there, you can probably bet your butt that he probably talks to Dan Larimer, and they all speak to each other, and it's almost competitive in ways that maybe some people at the gym are competitive with each other to try to work out. But that's what the nerd talk is. It's the developer thing. Hey, this guy's trying to one-up me. This is a handful of people. You can put, as Brock Pierce said, the amount of developers that do this kind of thing at this level, they're the brightest minds, the geniuses of literally society, of civilization, understanding economy, politics, computer science, game theory, all of this stuff. Combine them in one handful of individuals who can actually do this, and it's like 10. You can fit them in two hands. So you have Dan Larimer competing, obviously, with Vitalik. I honestly think both of them are doing great things for decentralization. However, I do think EOS, looking at something like Steemit, you can find out who someone generally is based on their Steemit content. So if EOS is built upon BitShares and kind of what you learned on Steemit, I imagine it's not focused on privacy in the same way that Ethereum is. So Ethereum is going to be having this zero-knowledge proof technology that is going to kind of steal from Zcash, that is going to enable a lot of privacy. Imagine building your own token, your own decentralized applications or voting mechanisms in a private way. So I think if we're going to have privacy, people are probably going to look toward Ethereum. Ethereum also has quite the head start before developers are able to build on EOS, and they're also working on easy templates and easy smart contract functionalities. Like, what was it, openlaw.io, I could be wrong, created by Consensus, where they are making a website for you to be able to pick out for your legal needs a smart contract and plug in some data, and it creates it for you. So the means are out there for you to do that. But right now, yeah, it's difficult. It's not ready yet, but we're on the way there as far as Ethereum. But EOS is definitely something that clearly is pushing Vitalik and his team to strive even harder. I love to see this competition. It's what excites me the most. Ethereum, in a way, has pushed Bitcoin to do what it had to do because you have all this flippening talk. So Bitcoin had to light the fire. Let's activate SegWit, user-activated SegWit. Let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah, if you don't keep up, then you die off. You're competing with the brightest minds out there. Dan Larimer's definitely one of them, and he's not going to go down as a person who didn't create the platform. He's gonna want to go as a person still trying to keep up with Vitalik and pass Vitalik and Ethereum, and show them that they can beat them at their own game when it comes to smart contracts and raising money probably moving forward. Look at what they did. A year-long ICO. They took advantage of people's the unregulation that exists. People don't know what they're getting into. They're going to be hoarding a lot of the ether, and yeah, they're going to have a lot of power because of that. That's what concerns me the most, is the amount of ether that they're probably going to hold at the end of this, and what that could do to the Ethereum network if they did have nefarious means. Or, I mean, they're a business, right? Not really, though, because they're probably holding ether tokens as well. Right. Why not let everything win?
Yeah, that's one thing a big question that a lot of people have is why so long and why so much ether? Is it to lock up so much ether to maybe drive the price down, or I mean, that's a question a lot of people were asking, and I mean, I don't know the answer to it. I guess it's yet to be seen, but I mean, regardless, man, it's exciting stuff, and whether it's like you said, they talk to each other, and this is just a kind of like a friendly competition, one trying to outdo the other, and the other one trying to outdo the other one. Regardless, we're the ones who benefit from that. So, either way, we're gonna benefit, no matter who comes out on top. If you hold both. So it's really exciting stuff. Really
I
is.
have complete faith in both of them. I'm not concerned that they're not going to do what they're promising, or try to do it.
I'm of the same belief. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When that video first came out, I watched it, and this is the day after Jeff Berwick had put out his Ethereum killer video, and so everyone was all excited and went out and got EOS, and then I think it was the next day that video came out, and everyone's like, "Oh man, should I have done that?" So it was, you know, but that's like everything in this market, man. There's so much, you know, there's so, you know, like literally, like somebody can come out and make a tweet that'll drive the price of something down or up, you know, and it's crazy how, you know, and that's, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to put into words, but it's crazy to watch, man. Every day, there's just new news that's driving prices up and down. And lately, it's been up. You know, what do you have for updates on Neo? I know we talked a little bit before this, and you had put out some info on Neo not that long ago, and it was still around $8 each when you did, $7 or $8, and you know, about the Chinese government. And since then, man, Neo's really took off. Do you have any updates on what's going on with Neo and their progress?
As much as I spoke about yesterday, probably, I don't know enough about Neo. I remember after I made that video, I mean, to know a lot about a coin, and you should know about as much, especially if you're going to get into a big position in a coin, if you're going to be making your third largest holding, you should know as much as you can. I didn't throw that much money at Neo. The first time I actually invested was yesterday. I cover a lot of stuff, even if I don't invest, and I mentioned in the live stream for that video where I've been covering Neo actually for quite some time. People have been mentioning it to me, and I said I was going to buy some, and I regret that I didn't back then. Yeah, but even so, like yesterday, we're still up a huge amount. I think like 52% today. I don't know enough because I just found out about gas and the way that works on the Neo system. So so gas is something created out of Neo, from my understanding. So it's almost like a stake. So if you're holding some Neo, you get some gas, and gas has shot up in price as well. That line looked vertical yesterday, and it's continued to go up today. Sorry, Wallace is being loud over there.
Okay.
Neo, from my understanding, is the China coin.
Yeah.
It is China smart contracts 2.0, scalable, and you've seen that some of the major conferences, you have pictures of Vitalik sitting next to the creator of ACChain. People like to say, "Oh, look, Vitalik's right next to him," but I'm like, look. That's like if you went to a bar and sat next to Michael Jordan and somebody snapped the picture of you guys there, and you were just there for the happy hour.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything. I don't know enough about them to throw insane amounts at it or recommend it crazy, but you also can't ignore it when more and more buzz is being created. You have to be aware of the conscious knowledge of people. If you're going to be getting a bunch of comments, a lot of people posting about it in threads, you owe it to yourself, you know, ignore it the first time, then maybe look at it the second time, and then now I have to admit I'm going to have to look into it a little more seriously because there's a reason it's going up in value. Probably it hasn't just been a pump and dump the next day or the next week. It continues to go up, and they continue to try to innovate. We did get that they released Neo 2.0, so they basically like froze their tokens, from my understanding, and created a second version of it and gave everybody an equivalent amount, just migrated everything to this Neo 2.0, and now they've rebranded. They were ACChain before. I don't know where they're heading, but their PR seems to be doing a pretty good job. I don't know. What do you think, man? What's up with ACChain and Neo?
You know what? I'm kind of like in the same situation as you, where I haven't done a ton of research about it. I just know, you know, a couple buddies of mine are talking about it. I watched a video that a guy did, and I don't even know who this guy was, but he seemed to know what he was talking about, and you know, he thinks it's gonna go sky high in a short period of time. And when he did that video, it was still at $8. And you know, this was probably maybe a week ago. I saw this video, a week and a half ago, and right now, last I checked anyway, it was $38. So you know, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say. It is something I planned to do more research on. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. There's just been so much going on, and so much. There's so much to learn and to look at in this space, man. My wife, you know, she hates it. I'm constantly on the computer doing this or doing that or making a trade or whatever, and she, you know, she's not too happy with me about it. But you know, I keep telling her, you're gonna thank me in the long run when we buy a house in cash. And you know, so I'm hoping, you know, I'm hoping I can show her that and see, like, look, now you know why I spent so much time on the computer, you know, last year.
There are people who do other things on the computer and spend a lot of time in private that aren't cryptocurrency, that aren't probably going to give people that much money in the future.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It depends what you're doing. Yeah, it's weird, right? Because I find myself looking down at my phone or looking at my computer, and it's all this thing about we're getting so disconnected from reality. You know, stop looking at your phone and just look at each other. There's something beautiful about being present in the fact that when you're present is when you learn the most. And oftentimes when I leave cryptocurrency for a little while and I get to kind of separate, and I like to do that from time to time, like I said today, I get to grow as a person, and then I feel like maybe the neural connections just start speaking to each other better in my brain. I come back at it with a new light, new eyes, and you have to realize that sometimes it's more important to look within yourself. Learn as much. That's what's beautiful. You follow the news, make your videos, research white papers, watch a ton of YouTubers. Don't just take one person's advice, for sure, but look at it all together. And then at a certain point, you'll run into a project and it'll do something different. That's what hasn't happened yet for Neo, for example, with me. I haven't seen anything with Neo that to me is like, wow, this is absolutely revolutionary. And I just get like, and I get like really pumped and passionate. That's happened to me before. Like, when I was talking about oh my god tokens, I did a video about that like I think a month ago, Omiza Go tokens, and McDonald's and Thailand, and then I just read the post by the original team. So I went straight to the source. I didn't watch any videos about it, and I like the way these guys were eloquent. I see some of the things they've done before, and Vitalik is an advisor, and I thought, oh man, I have to grab some of these coins right now. I had this spark inside of me. Call it intuition, call it gut. Maybe the longer you've been around, in a way, also like you begin to become more aware of what is a scam and what is not. So like, it seemed like a good idea. I haven't seen that yet with many coins. I guess for me personally, I need to get that one thing that it's like, I don't want a quick buck right now. It's not what I'm looking for. I don't feel like trading every day and keeping an eye on the markets and panicking. That's not where I'm at, and being like, let me buy right now. Oh crap, it's gonna go up tomorrow. Or let me sell right now because it just went down. Like, I'm cool on sitting some positions. I haven't sold one OMG token. I haven't once sold one NEO after I invested yesterday. I haven't. I don't know enough to do that yet. I'm not trading anymore. I gave that up a little while ago. I've lost too much money trying to time markets. I find that value investing is the best way to do it, and so feeling that spark is the best way.
Yeah, I heard your story actually. It must have been a little less than a week ago, that you talked about when you were trading and said you went to sleep or you did something and you had a margin trade and you lost all your money on what is Ethereum, I think you said.
Yeah, it was a bad night, man. Like, it was a lot of money.
Yeah, I was doing the trading thing, and I still am to an extent, but it got so to where the point where it controlled my life. I was on the computer, literally on Poloniex every second, watching charts, stressing out when the price went down, panic selling, losing money, and I'll tell you what. That if something's gonna kill you from stress, it'll be that. I did recently get a bot though, and I've been kind of messing with the bot. It's for anyone who's wondering, it's Gunbot, which is actually a really good bot. It's got built-in strategies. You can trade on Poloniex, Bittrex, and Kraken. And I don't know, have you used bots before?
I haven't. I've looked at them before, but I mean, like, I follow Vicky, the Bitcoin bot now, or Ethereum bot on Twitter. Yeah. And there's this other bot that got created. I don't know if you saw the video I made about that. They made another bot where there's a dude who literally follows that bot. He built a bot that will follow the other bot to see if the trades were profitable or you would have lost money. And generally, Vicky's been wrong. She's been around and upgraded a bunch of times. So I'm like, again, I'm not trading anymore, so I'm just out of that. And you can get burned really bad by a bot, because if there are large moves that happen, you don't have time to change your strategy. I'd rather if I lose money, I'd rather I lost my own money rather than giving that to anything yet.
Yeah, I
don't know.
It's I haven't been using it long enough. Generally, people who have used this have generally seen about 30% gains per month. And awesome. It's not something you just set and forget, man. You gotta kind of update which pairs you're trading, and based off of what the charts are doing. And if we go into a bear market, you kind of got to shut the bot off and stop trading. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's something I'm gonna keep messing with, but I told the dev that I would do some videos for him, pretty much how to install it, how to set up, how to get the settings on it right for, you know, for beginners, and in exchange for that, he gave me a free license. So, you know, it's something I just kind of was exploring a little bit, and you know, but for the most part, you know, I like the HODL, and you know, it's there. You know, after the stress of, like I said, manual trading on Poloniex, man, it's just, I'll tell you what, it's no way to live. It really isn't. So, you know, most of the holdings I have, they're exactly that. They're holdings. And, you know, one of them that, you know, that I have that things aren't looking great for right now, but I still have, I'm still very bullish on it, and I have complete faith in it, is Veritaseum. You own any Veritaseum or no?
Yeah, I'm still holding a good fair amount of it.
Yeah, I missed the ICO, and that is what sparked me to really kind of go full bore on, like, doing my research and doing things, because at the time, I, you know, Jason at 4 came out with this video about it, just talking about it and how it was 10-to-1 with Ethereum, and or maybe it was a little bit before that. I went and I missed. Yeah, it was before that. I missed the ICO by a couple days, and I hadn't participated in any ICO at that point. But I did go on Ether Delta. I bought some at 10-to-1, and you know, very short period of time after that, it was 3-to-1 or 4-to-1, then 3-to-1, and you know, he made that video at 3-to-1 where he cashed out and made 93,000 on the majority of his holdings, and you know, so it's that right there, man, that, like, you're never gonna see those kind of returns on anything, on the stock market, on any other market, commodities. So it's like, man, this is just such an exciting space, and people who are just everyday normal guys like you and me are becoming millionaires, and it's crazy, man. It's honestly really inspiring. It really is, and you know, this is like some of the most exciting times of my life, just, you know, watching this and reading these things, and it's like things that I'm reading on you know, white papers or articles, and I'm reading it to my wife, and she doesn't know what the heck I'm talking about. You know, I'm like, what's alright, you don't have to know, you know, just you know, I get so excited and I want to read her something, and I know she's not going to comprehend it, but hey, you know, that's fine, and I just get so excited about this stuff, man. But yeah, Veritaseum, you know, ever since that whole issue where there was the supposed hack and all that, you know, and I was watching that live on Ether Delta, actually, when all of a sudden, you know, the price started going down. I seen these huge sell orders, and you know, I was telling myself too, when it was at, you know, 1.1 ETH per Veri token, I'm like, should I sell mine? And, you know, because it was going up and down, you know, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna hold it. And man, I wish I sold it, because, you know, I did sell some, and then I got back in at 0.6 ETH, or 0.66, somewhere around there. You know, it's kind of just been ever since then. It's went up a little bit, but, you know, now it's back down to about 2-to-1 with Ethereum, and, you know, there's a lot of FUD going on with you know, people spreading falsehoods and, you know, calling Reggie a scammer, and I don't believe that in the least bit, because Reggie, you know, all a man has, and, you know, my buddy CryptoBlitz, he put this best, is all a man has is his you know, his reputation, and his reputation's on the line, and you know, I don't think he's going to, because he was a pretty well-known figure in markets, and for him to ruin totally his reputation by scamming people, you know, I don't see it. You know, I think there's a lot of people spreading falsehoods, and I think soon enough, once it goes live, trading on the Jamaican Stock Exchange, or for the Jamaican Stock Exchange, I think people are going to start seeing that, you know, this is the real deal, and I think that price is going to shoot up. And Cliff-I has it at 1-to-1 with Bitcoin next year, which is crazy. And so right now, people are saying no way, but Cliff-I's data is, for the most part, usually pretty spot on when it comes to cryptos, anyway. So, you know, I don't know, man. That's you know, when I heard that, man, I got really excited, and that's just one of those tokens that, you know, I have complete faith in, regardless of the FUD, regardless of what people are saying. I see what he's trying to do, Reggie, and I think it's awesome, man. And if we could get, you know, peer-to-peer transactions on the New York Stock Exchange or the COMEX, man, just imagine what that would do. You know, that would end silver and gold price manipulation. You know, it's just crazy to think about. And so that's one that I'm holding, and I'm really excited about that, regardless if the price has gone down by 50%, you know, from its high. And you know, I have that, and I have Populous. That's another one that had a lot of FUD surrounding it. And now we're starting to see that turn around ever since Cliff did his interview with Stephen Nico Williams. And now, you know, we're starting to get screenshots of the alpha. And you know, I'm really excited about that one. Any token that pays, you know, dividends, or that you can you know, make money, make your initial investment back plus make dividends is awesome, man. So do you own any of that or no? You in on Populous?
Populous? No, I don't know enough about the whole invoice market, and I had to really get excited about it. I'm sure he does, and maybe you do, but I didn't mess with it for that one reason.
Yeah,
Veritaseum, I am excited about completely. However,
what's that?
I'm with you on that one. Holding indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Veritaseum.
Yeah. That one, that's probably one of my favorites, and I convinced a buddy of mine to get into it. Who, you know, there's a lot of people who didn't get into it based on how the website looked. You know, they're like, oh, it doesn't look professional enough, so I'm not gonna buy in on the ICO. And you know, hey, to each his own. And you know, but regardless of what the website looked like, it just it seemed like the right move, and I'm glad I did, because even, you know, where I got in, I've made some money off it. I mean, I still hold it. I didn't get rid of any. I got rid of a couple for something else, but yeah, man, it's that's one of my favorite assets, in all honesty. So
man, I think everything in the short term is going to go up. I have a feeling we're entering this kind of bull market again. I just get these gut reactions. I felt like for a while when we were at the top that we were going to have a correction. You just start getting, people are too exuberant, too excited. Everything is a comedic meme about Lamborghinis, and you have this like anxiety and undertone of this was too much, and you know things are going to come down a little bit. Then we had this like flatline period. Now what's happening is I feel like we had this this slight move up that's been happening this last week after the whole SegWit thing with Bitcoin. And what you're seeing is that people are still anxious, like, oh no, it's not going to happen. We're not going to start to move up yet. Like, maybe that was it. So you still have a little bit of anxiety, but on the other side of things, of like, nah, it's too soon. So that leads me to think that it probably is going to begin to move up. And so I'm feeling there's a lot of confidence in the market right now. And the fact and the reality is that the dollar is not looking strong. The global economy is not looking strong. So that's making cryptocurrencies look even better.
You're right.
So I think a government like the U.S. government would shoot itself in the foot to make it illegal here, instead of allow regulation to actually let people use it and become aware of it, especially on their side of things, the government, so that they can position themselves globally in a good place. So I think what we're going to see is actually, you know, the government staying away from cryptocurrencies until it continues to take over. There's too much money, too many billionaires now getting involved with this, too much big money, hedge funds, Goldman Sachs. This is going to continue, and I think it's just the beginning. And it's great as an average person, like you said, to know about this early on.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It's and that's what Cliff High's data has things going up. You know.
Did you get his latest report?
I did. Yeah, I do have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I love his reports, man. That webbot is, I tell you what, it's nothing short of impressive. It really is, man. I don't know how he does it, man. That man is a genius.
The cryptocurrencies especially, I find that maybe for silver, gold, it's so manipulated that he can't be right with those.
Right.
But so people like to give him a lot of guff for that one reason. But when it comes to cryptocurrencies, he's actually been pretty accurate.
Right.
And they're not crazy predictions either. They're all based on realistic things that could happen. So I think he's spot on.
Yeah.
You're right.
Now, I'm sure you did see all the whole, you know, thing that happened with that Centra ICO, where his data did get a little mixed up with Centra Credit Union, and it gave him, you know, good readings on Centra, and people went and invested, and And then he kind of got his data straight and, you know, went and did the interview with that kid. It was basically they're trying to do the same thing as 10x. And he ripped that kid apart, man, piece by piece on that. And I don't know if you saw the interview or not. You didn't? Oh, man. You should go. Oh, actually, I think he took it down. He just said today they threatened lawsuits and all kinds of, not lawsuits, I don't think, but they tried to file for copyright infringement with Google. They wanted the interview with Cliff. They sought him out, thinking that they were going to get the kid here who said he's the CTO, who didn't really know anything about. He had no business with the title CTO. Let's put it that way. He sought out Cliff for an interview, thinking, I don't know, that he was going to get Cliff to sign off on it, and Cliff just ripped apart everything right on camera and then put it on YouTube, and people were asking for refunds back who invested in the ICO, and it was bad. But I guess they're basically just doing the same thing as 10x, and you know, I don't know, I think since then Cliff took the video down, and he put up a tweet today that said something about it seemed like maybe he's kind of, I don't know. It's still hard to say, but yeah, it's too bad you didn't see that video. It was pretty comical, if anything, man. But 10x, how long have they had their card out now? Do you know? I just downloaded the app today, and we can't participate in the United States. We can't get a card, I guess.
Yeah, you can't get a card. That's for a lot of the projects. So
is it?
Yeah, that's a token card. I think Mona cards said the same thing, that we're not gonna get them here in the United States.
You can get a BitPay though, correct?
Yeah, I also have a Shift card.
Okay.
I think there's another one, WireX, I believe, as well. There are a few of them, but they're different. They're not smart contracts.
Okay. Yeah, that's I got a friend in Canada who said, "Oh, did you get your 10x card yet?" And I said, "No." And I went and downloaded the app, and there's not even an option for the United States, which is kind of disheartening. It really is, man. It's you know, the SEC, they kind of really. And on one hand, regulation is good, but then there's the other side of it too, where you know, it just kind of, you know, I've participated in ICOs that we're not supposed to in the United States. Obviously, you said it earlier on. You need to use a VPN, but you know, I think if, you know, let people participate if they want to participate. And I don't know a lot about the SEC regulations on stuff. You know, I don't know enough to speak on it, and I guess a lot of it is just a safety thing where, you know, I know like Pillar went and changed their position on it, and in the beginning they weren't allowing people from the US, and then they changed it. But why is it that we can't use, you know, cards like 10x or Monaco in the United States?
I'm not sure exactly on those. I know that some of the things they've been specific on when it comes to ICOs, that they want a lot of transparency, so a lot of know your customer information filled out, KYC stuff. So you would have to send your driver's license and stuff to get verified to be inside of an ICO, mainly because things are considered securities. So you have 10x. I'm not sure if it works the same way as some other cards or tokens or ICOs that exist, where they do return a dividend. Anything that returns a dividend has to be cleared by the SEC, and therefore we cannot invest in them if they don't want to go through all of the what's called the Howey test. So with the Howey test is, if you want to have an ICO, you're a company that wants to raise money, you do the Howey test, the steps, and if you don't pass, then you will probably be in trouble and you could be arrested and fined or etc. is the point. So these guys don't even know what the Howey test is. They don't go through any of these. They don't want to go through any of that, so they just stay out of the U.S. They say no U.S. customers. We'll stay in Switzerland where people actually are free. Right. And, you know, the Americans can fend for themselves. Figure it out. Use a VPN. Sorry, guys. But the strictest ones won't even let you get in at all unless you send them a driver's license or something like that.
Yeah, it's, you know, I brought it up to you earlier, and you said you didn't know a whole lot about it, but this ACChain, this ACC coin, which is, you know, that's been the big buzz today. That, I don't know if the ICO happened already. Somebody said it did, somebody said it didn't, and you know, we looked at the website before we started.
It said 9 investors. They raised like $16,000, something paltry. I don't know. It doesn't look serious yet, but
yeah,
I mean, you've seen some stuff.
Yeah, I know that one is like that, where, you know, you have to basically show proof that you're not a United States resident. But that one there is supposedly tied to the IMF. So you know, for me, I'm not getting involved with anything that's tied to the IMF. You know, I know Goldman Sachs has the patent on their own blockchain now, and you know, I wouldn't get involved in anything that's tied to Goldman Sachs. You know, so that's just me personally.
What is the whole conspiracy? We're all gonna have RFID chips inside of us that the government gives us so
Right.
they can track us. So I mean, I think it would be great to have chips inside of us if it's actually in a decentralized way, and it gives us access to things if we are actually physically there, or access to I don't know, events, sites, your money at the bank or whatever. But if it's gonna be licensed out by something like ACChain, which you're talking about right now, which is they're putting real estate in Dallas, I think I read on there, on top inside of the blockchain, but it's centralized. If it's something centralized that's ran by a group of individuals, you don't know who they are, what their real intentions are, and they were only surrounded by finance people and people who are at the top and those one percenters in different countries. If it's ran by them, generally, those aren't the RFID chips you want inside your body, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. Me personally, I don't know if I'd want an RFID chip in me anyway, but you know, that's a discussion for another day, I guess. So yeah, I wanted to talk about real quick about Bitcoin Cash, man. You seem like, you know, are you bullish on Bitcoin Cash or what?
I'm bullish on Bitcoin Cash. I can't see it going bad. I can only see that. I mean, I think we've hit a low, right? It's people who wanted to sell. The people who were speaking most negatively about it sold off. They were excited, as did every exchange. I was watching the World Crypto Network, watching them all stoked and kind of confused as well by the profits that it's returning, and then saying, you know what, it's only a transaction costs are only a tenth less because you have less people using the chain, and it's growing in hash power. But that's only because 90% or 80% is from one miner somewhere in the world. So you guys should be concerned about that. But it's to me, it seems like a lot of finger pointing and pointing at it in a negative way, and that's what gets me the most excited, is because I don't see that coming from their side. If anything, I see more excitement, enthusiasm, and spirit about what Satoshi was trying to do. Are you still there, man?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you
Cool.
see me?
Yeah, your video froze, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Just checking. I'm sure you're still recording. But
Yeah.
I'm bullish on it. Like I said, when you look at people like Brock Pierce, again, saying they haven't sold, you have a lot of people hinting at it. So I did a video about it when I said that I thought it was the real Bitcoin, just to get people pissed off. But the reality is, I feel like I have to speak my truth. Value isn't relative to the price. Just because something is worth more on coin market cap doesn't make it a better coin, or will make it a better coin in the long run. I'm talking about a belief in something, in a spirit, in decentralization,
Right.
which is something they're going to try to knock from the SegWit side. But actually, I think it's more decentralized Bitcoin Cash, and I can get into that, into why I believe that. But so none of those arguments fly for me, because they're coming at it from biased standpoints and from certain fallacies that don't hold truth behind it. So you look at the people like Vitalik hinting at it as well. Vinay saying that he was so excited that week that a group of hardcore hacker spirited people forked, regardless of what some suited up corporate types wanted to happen with a certain coin. Obviously, he's talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So you have, I mean, you're going to hear that everywhere. You're going to some of the most brilliant minds hinting that maybe Bitcoin isn't the SegWit way to go and the core way to go with developers. Maybe that hasn't gone the right way, and maybe Bitcoin Cash is onto something. Jeff Berwick also said the same thing recently on an interview. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to hold it. So that's where I was at. I was like, well, I'm going to hold it, except I actually bought some when there was a big sell-off. So
I remember
that's
you
where
saying that, yeah.
Yes.
I must
I
be
don't know
one of
what
the
you
only
think.
people who lost money on Bitcoin Cash. And that,
Oh, no.
and
Did
that
you sell?
is, yeah, man. I sold, and you know, I didn't think it through. I'll tell you that much. As soon as it hit exchanges, as soon as it went live on Bittrex, I sold it, and it was, you know, I don't even know why I did it, man. I sold it to get something else as soon as I was able to, and then the price just shot up after that, man, and then it went 4 times higher. So, you know, I don't know. I regret doing it. I kind of wish I just held it now, because that would have been the smart play, you know. Equal amounts, no matter which one goes higher and which one becomes a dominating force, I win either way. And you know, I can always go get some more. I don't know where it's trading at right now. I haven't checked in about a day and a half because I haven't been on Bittrex. But you know, what's it trading at right now? Actually, let's look in CoinMarketCap.
It was like 240, 216. It was around that range today. But
okay, so it's back down then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower today.
277.
277, so it went back up. I think that the next 2 weeks are going to belong to Bitcoin heading into activation of SegWit. I do feel like Bitcoin is a great coin to hold right now, and then probably you're going to see a sell-off on that day or following that day, or a bit of a crash, or it's just going to flatline. But now is probably a good time to hold some Bitcoin. The coin I'm most excited about after that is totally Ethereum. I would be wary to give away your Ethereum to EOS, too much of it, because EOS is going to be locking it up. They're probably not going to be selling off very much, and I'm happy to say that I think EOS is doing a good thing here. If they're just holding that Ethereum and selling when they need it, because they don't need to sell it because they already have a lot of money. So you have a lot of smart money, I guess, well, a smart entity holding Ethereum. So it's actually like a kind of stake. So they're staking Ethereum and they're just keeping it locked up. It's not moving. It's less liquidity. That's bringing the price up. So I'm actually kind of happy to think of it that way. Ethereum hasn't hit an all-time high yet recently. We've had Bitcoin hit it, and we're hitting around $300 over that around Ethereum, or near that, 291. I think I saw it earlier today. Once it hits $400, it's going to skyrocket again towards the end of the year. We have Metropolis coming up. A lot of excitement, obviously, surrounding Plasma, which I talked about today. And I think that's going to be a positive coin. Dash, you're going to hear some talk today coming about how it's not so private. They use something called CoinJoin. I like to think that Dash is a great coin as well to hold, but maybe it's not as private. They're finding out today, as was thought, because of the way that they run things. So it's about as private as Bitcoin, they're saying. Monero is another coin that's been around for a while. I don't know. I don't know about Monero completely, but I think I agree with Brock. I think EOS is a great coin to at least have some of, because they're going to be coming out hard. They're going to have a test period coming out soon, I believe. I think this month, actually, I believe EOS and into September is going to be releasing the test network for developers. So by the time that EOS rolls out next summer, when they have the ICO is over, they give everybody, and I have no doubt they will do this, everybody an equivalent amount of EOS tokens on the EOS blockchain, that they're going to have a bunch of dApps already ready to go. And that's going to be really exciting to happen. You don't want to miss that boat. Right now, what's happening with EOS is probably like the people who had the chance to get into the Ethereum ICO. I've heard about plenty of those people who got into the ICO for Ethereum and wish they had gotten more. So maybe that's where we're at. You know, just look a little deeper than what people are saying. I hear too much. Let's call it surface level FUD. So fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Not really looking very deep, not people who are developers or understand the technology or the people behind it themselves. Coming from just Twitter and social media posts from people who just like to talk crap. And if you look about those people, they probably have pointed at that stuff in various projects. Those are the people who are like my buddy on Instagram who was telling me, who's an economics major when I was in marching band in university, looking at my Instagram and saying, oh, Bitcoin's in a bubble. This was when Bitcoin was like at $400. Bitcoin's in a bubble. Watch it crash. It's going to crash. You're an idiot if you're investing in that. Yeah, just invest in real stuff, man. You're going to see. It's like tulip made. I'm like, I literally, you don't understand what the hell you're talking about, dude. Go look at blockchain first and what it is before you have any sort of argument. And it's similar with this. It's like, dude, go look a little bit deeper. Do you really know what you're talking about? Have you been following this a long time? You don't know what's going to happen. So you can either choose to be a negative person in the space and you're scared the prices are going to crash tomorrow, or you can be more confident, which is generally people who've been holding for a longer time. They're like, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does. It could be a scam, but you diversify. You have a diversified portfolio. You could be a person who thinks one coin is the true coin, and that we still have Bitcoin maximalists who are only still holding Bitcoin, and we can probably find those as well, plenty of those guys. And they think Bitcoin is the only true coin to have, and if you're holding any other altcoin, you're a shill for that coin. You're going to get scammed, and those guys have lost so much money, let's just say.
Yeah.
Because when the market cap for something is already huge, that means that it's gonna take a lot more money coming into that coin specifically before you get more money. So people are trying to look at smaller coins, smaller market cap coins, but at that's also gambling. So I think it's better to be somewhere in the middle. Find something that could return you value. Hold on to the things you believe in the most. Maybe diversify after you've made a bit of a profit, just in case. But try to keep an open mind and follow what's going on. This stuff changes every single day. Nobody does know what's gonna win, and it does suck. For example, if you did just put your Bitcoin in cold storage, or I guess you'd be fine in cold storage. If you kept it on Coinbase and you didn't know this fork was happening, you don't know about the one in November, and you didn't get your free Bitcoin, and you come out of your rock in 3 years. Sure, your Bitcoin's worth $500,000, but you could have made a lot more in the meantime with other things if you just kept an open mind and you stayed hungry for knowledge and learning. And that's where I think is the smartest place to be.
It's a really good pointers right there and tips for people, man. That's very well said.
You're doing that, man.
Huh?
I mean, you're doing that, man.
Yeah.
Nick, like so many people, you just got in and you're excited, and you do have to do that. You have to like swallow every bit of information, watch every single video that you do. I mean, that's how I started my vlog, because I couldn't get enough content that I could find myself back in the day about Ethereum when I first started doing this. But that's good. Like, you're gonna have to, your wife might not like it, but you know, maybe she'll turn around to it someday.
She will. I have faith in that, man. And she, you know, she supports me, you know, in this, you know, until, you know, she wants to go to the store, or she wants to go do something, and I'm, you know, in the middle of making a video or looking at a chart or something like that. But in the end, she supports me. But yeah, man, this is, you know, I totally agree with what you just said. I think being diversified in this is the only way to do this, because, you know, it lessens your chances of, you know, of losing money. You know, if you put all your eggs in one basket, you know, unless it's, to me, Bitcoin, you know, but even then, even if you just hold Bitcoin, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many opportunities out there, and I'm not saying go, you know, jump into every ICO that comes out. I think the ICO madness, you know, and all of the, I don't see too many more like really good ones coming out, man. It's like I've done this. I've tried to think about, you know, man, could I start my own coin, start my own token, and do something? Like, everything to me's already been done. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like everything's been done already. There's a coin or a token for just about everything out there. You know, so it's like you know, I don't know.
These are secondhand. You're right. We have alternatives for everything. We have several smart contract blockchains.
Yep.
We have several Bitcoin wannabes. But the first mover that has the strongest team behind it and experience is the one that's going to win out. So that's generally what I also look to invest in. We're talking about 10x, Monaco card. We have token card. It's like, pick the one you like the most, honestly, or pick all of them. But I think if one is probably going to win. One of these is probably going to be, there's going to be one Yahoo, or there's going to be one Google, there's going to be one Windows or Apple, there's going to be maybe a private version, a public version, but that's it. It's not going to be everything. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, to get into it also, I think I'm going to have to head out soon because I feel bad for my girlfriend too. We have a few things to do tonight, and I'm sure we have to set up a TV stand. My bird is over there. You probably heard him throwing his food bowl around because he's hungry. We got a conure.
It's all good, man. I gotta go tend to my wife as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, I really appreciate you doing this, man. And you know, hopefully we can do this again sometime. You know.
Yeah, of course, dude. Please send me a link to the video when it's ready, and I'll be sure to share it with my subscribers. Hopefully they can find your content and enjoyable too, since you're doing interviews with some exciting people as well, all with their own ideas. I'd love to share
man.
that.
I will definitely do that, man. I appreciate it, and you have a great night, all right? And just for real quick, man, just anybody who doesn't know, you know, why don't you give your information for anybody who's not following you? You know, tell them where they can find you at.
Sure, yeah. I've been mining Ethereum since last February. I started a vlog, just kind of a car vlog where I would do videos, Crypt0s news. It used to be called Ethereum news, but now it's Crypt0s news. You can go to cryptosnews.com. That's CRYPT0, like the number, SNEWS.com. If you want to shoot me an email, it's crypto@cryptosnews.com. Same way with zeros at the end. Or just find my YouTube videos. I'm Crypt0, CRYPT0. And yeah, I just try to keep it real, man. Like you, I try to keep it honest. I'm not taking any money for ICOs right now. I have in the past. I don't feel right about when I've done it. The last one I think was Zyber. It just doesn't have this. I don't get as excited about it when I'm not doing it in the spirit of helping everybody honestly. So that's where we're at right now. We're just giving honest cryptocurrency information. Hopefully soon I get some sketch comedy stuff out there. I'm trying to make cryptocurrency relatable to every single person. I'm meeting with some people on Tuesday. We're gonna try to get a show going. Maybe record some stuff at the YouTube space. Get some awesome actor friends of mine out here in Los Angeles, and just try to keep spreading the word so as many people can profit as possible. So I encourage everyone to follow you as well. Hopefully you continue to spread the word, and I urge you to continue doing what you're doing. You have a good style and a good vibe, man, and it'll reward you well with that patience.
Awesome, man.
Hard work.
Really appreciate that, man. Thank you. So everybody, guys, if you're not following Crypto, make sure you go follow him on YouTube, follow him on Twitter, follow him on Steemit, and support this guy, man. This guy is the source of where you want to go to find out what's going on in the crypto space, man. He's always on top of it, putting up videos every day. So yeah, man. So thanks again for doing this, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Take care.
All right.
Bye, Nick.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy.